Hello everyone, Gary Raze here with Remax Integrity and Eugene Spotlights. I have the pleasure to introduce to you Eric Messner of State Farm Insurance. And Eric, I want to, first of all, before we start the interview, I want to tell you why I picked you of all the State Farm insurance people that are out here in Eugene, Springfield. One of my clients, you had helped that particular client so well that they were just raving about you. And so I took your name down. Don't know you from Sikkim, but I do know that you have a great review from one of my clients. And so that's why I thought, well, of all the State Farm people that I wanted to talk with, you're it. So don't make me do a bad job here, Eric.
Okay, I'll do my best.
So Eric, being a State Farm agent, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get started?
My uncle was a State Farm agent. And I graduated from the University of Oregon in 1990, got involved with the Hilton Hotels, went through their management training program. That's when Desert Storm came about.
Oh, yes.
All middle management kind of got the wax. So I moved over to Central Oregon and I started building homes. Found out I went to college for a reason and I wanted to use it. And then that's when I contacted my uncle and said, how do I become a State Farm agent? At that time, you had to work for the company for 5 years, so I was an auto adjuster. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I got the home building background, plus I've got the claims experience from the auto company. And then I've been an agent down here in the Eugene, Springfield area since 1999.
That's a while. So you've got a lot of experience behind you.
I still feel like the new guy, but when I look around now, I'm one of the oldest guys around, so if that means anything.
So, first of all, Eric, I want to tie what you do with the real estate world because that's where my clients are. I know you do auto and boat and all the other issues, but I want to focus today on the real estate part. So, when a client purchases a home, one of the requirements before that even closes is that they have full insurance already taken care of to tell the mortgage people that they are indeed insured. So what can you tell me about a person is doing this for the very first time, a brand new buyer? What type of insurance would they be looking at from your perspective?
Well, you need insurance to get a loan. With no insurance, you don't get a loan.
That's correct.
And so there are different levels of insurance. I think you want to find somebody that you can talk to that's going to explain the coverages to you, because it's going to be something you're going to have the rest of your life, usually, and to know what you're getting.
I agree with that, because even as old as I am, there's a lot of insurance questions that I've never solved myself because I never brought it up to ask those questions, and dealing more with other types of insurances. But I also know here in the area, because of our forest fires that we have encountered in the last almost now our 6th year of forest fires, there are some people up in the McKenzie area that cannot get insurance anymore. Is that accurate?
Yes. There's some areas in Central Oregon, Bend, Sun River, Lapine, and then there's some areas up near Portland towards Mount Hood that are in fire zones or fire protectives, and they have restrictions on there. One of the restrictions is 5 feet of defensible space around the house. You can't have any vegetation. And we're getting into some issues about, I really like that rhododendron bush there, but the insurance company's telling you got to take it out because you got to have 5 feet around your house.
How interesting that you should bring that up, because the client that you helped, you had to go back out to his place with your shovel and take that roadie out.
And more than one, but
you were able to get those people insurance, which
right.
was very important.
And that's their dream home. And
yes.
If I say I'm going to do it, I'll find a way. But you want to find somebody that's going to work with you. You want to work with a company that's got a reputation, that's been around. From time to time, companies go and come in, and you want to get somebody. Most people never have a fire in their home, but yet everybody wants to get homeowners insurance because they think of a fire. It's so much more than that.
Well, and let's combine insurances now. And I didn't want to get into the auto insurance part of that, but if a person was to insure with State Farm with their home and insure their cars, their vehicles and boats and toys with State Farm, there is a slight break in
it's
cost.
More than slight. You know, you could probably save $500 just by getting your auto insurance combined with your home. And that's just on your homeowner's insurance. And then most companies will give a discount too for your auto.
Okay.
And more than that, so to speak, you want to have one person to call if something bad happens. You don't want to have to call this guy because my car got wrecked, or this guy because somebody stole my boat, or this guy because my house is on fire.
That's important. They need the assurance that the person that they're working with is going to get the job done, and they're not going to call an 800 number and get routed through the system. They can go directly to you should one of your clients have an issue.
It's very similar when somebody buys a house. There's a lot of mortgage companies out there, and most of the time it just flows through. But it's those 3 out of 10 where you have a problem that you want to have a local person to call up and say, hey, I got to close on this right away. I can't deal with the 1-800 number.
Now you talked about, let's go, I'm going to narrow us back down again to home insurance. How many different kinds of home insurances are there?
You could be a condo unit owner. You could own the building. State Farm offers one basic homeowner policy for a typical homeowner. It comes prepackaged, so you don't have to worry about picking and choosing the options. There's several options like earthquake, flood that you can choose. But State Farm's homeowner policy comes prepackaged for the normal person. It should be fine as is. You can get a little creative and tailor it, maybe for some antiques or collections.
Okay, and I don't know if you'd add jewelry or
Jewelry,
personal
guns.
Okay, yeah.
Those would be all separate things. And maybe getting a safe is going to outweigh buying insurance.
When you say outweigh, have you lifted a safe lately?
Not recently. I haven't needed to. But.
So here's a question that can come up often. The pipe on my toilet just broke and flooded, as opposed to the drip that is happening. You will cover one, but you won't cover the other. Is that accurate?
Remember, sudden and accidental loss. So a slow drip isn't sudden and accidental. Yes. Termites, it's not sudden and accidental. That would be happening over time. We do use good judgment on, hey, the pipe behind my ice maker on the refrigerator broke. I didn't discover it for 5 days. That would be most of the times considered sudden and accidental.
Most of the time, but there's also the drip that happens.
The big issue is mold when it comes to water losses like that. Okay. Most insurance companies exclude mold, and it comes right out, and they're very loud about how they say it in their policies. We don't cover mold because that doesn't happen overnight. That takes a long time to usually
to accumulate.
Yeah.
Okay. If you were a brand new or an advice to a brand new home owner, what you're gonna talk about the cost of the encompassing homes, but what about the value? For example, during the COVID times when everything went skyrocket as far as value, how often should a homeowner reevaluate how much insurance that they have on their home?
It's a great question. With State Farm's policy, we have similar to a COLA rider. So every year we go in and adjust your coverages based on the market.
Okay.
So if we see building costs go up, you might see your coverage go up by $60,000. More coverage. The big one there is you got your market value, which the realtors are very concerned about. So are the banks. I could care less about the market value because that could all be in land or your view.
So you're talking replacement value.
And that's what the homeowners need to know is, what would it cost me to rebuild my house tomorrow? And that's the amount of insurance that you want to carry. The banks might say you need a $600,000 policy because that's how much my loan is. But my house is only worth $200,000, so you would only need to carry that $200,000 of replacement cost.
With the fluctuation of lumber prices, as you know, this last year it skyrocketed. I was gluing all my toothpicks together to make a 2x4, so to save money. But it fluctuated, but it came back down. But how do you adjust that way when building materials are fluctuating quickly?
Variable. Yeah. State Farm's policy comes with a 20%, I call it a fudge factor, to where all of a sudden maybe I undervalued, or maybe now that flooring is a lot more expensive, plywood's 3 times as much. That 20% of the replacement cost, so if I insured the house for $200,000, I have another $40,000 to cover that fluctuation or that price adjustment.
That's good news, and that's also important news for our listener.
State Farm also
Go ahead.
came out with another endorsement for $35. You can get that up to 50%. So there should be no doubt that you should have enough coverage. But take the time to sit down when you first get into the house, because a lot of times I'm an afterthought. Hey, you got to have insurance. Hey, I got to have insurance, so write a policy, and they never sit down and ask questions. But sit down and know what you're paying for, because when you look at your budget, your insurance dollar makes up for a pretty good percentage of my overall expenses. Know what you're paying for.
I agree. And of course, new homeowners who are just going through this process for the first time, that insurance cost usually is added into your monthly payment. So your taxes and your insurance gets clumped into your regular mortgage payment itself. So when it comes time, this is the beauty of a mortgage. When you lock it in and purchase, that house price, that mortgage stays the same. It does not change, except for what you were talking about. Insurance can rise a little bit, and also, of course, taxes can also rise a little bit. That's the only thing that's going to affect your house payment. So keep that in mind as well. Eric, you guys provide a pretty important service, and I want to know if Joe Blow, who just moved into the Eugene Springfield area, how would they get a hold of you?
You can always reach me on my phone, 541-342-7444, or you can reach me on the internet at ericmessner.com.
Good, and we'll post that too, by the way, at the bottom of the video. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And again, I stress to Eric, I did not know Eric, and I chose him because of what a wonderful testimonial that my client gave of the insurance business and the insurance person. And this gentleman even came out to help them get rid of their roadies to get it that 5 feet apart, because they live out in the forest area. So the important part is, from my perspective, is try to bundle house and car. Also understand that you do need adjustments to your insurance throughout the years, because it's very easy to forget about it. So, Eric, go ahead.
One other thing I want to mention too is the contents. Because of that fire, I had 3 clients during this recent McKinsey fire lose their house. Document what you have for your stuff. You get all that stuff. We're going to drive a motor home to where your house is, and we're going to ask you what was in the hallway closet. Well, if you lived there for more than 5 years, you've probably forgotten. I get people come up and say, I forgot to tell you about my weed eater and my lawnmower. Your garage.
I'm so glad you brought that up. It is critically important that you take a video of every single room and itemize as much as you can, and take that and transfer it to paper. The paper burns, by the way. Take that and put it in your safety deposit box, because you will need, if anything catastrophic happens, you will be way ahead of the game if you have already recorded the items that are inside the home.
And I'll make it a little bit simpler, because I went through and took an inventory of everything in my house, and it got deleted on the computer. Go through and take 4 or 5 pictures of room. Open up the doors, open up the closets, and just snap a picture. Anything that's worth maybe $1,500, $2,000 or unique, take a specific picture of that. You got an autographed Michael Jordan ball, take a picture of that. State Farm has got a wonderful claims department, and we probably replace that. But we can't do that if you don't have any proof. And most of your owner's manuals, boxes, all that gets burnt up with the fire.
Yes.
And more times than not, State Farm has got a pretty good knowledge of what the average homeowner has. And so if you've got pictures and everything lines up, it's not going to be a problem. But most of the time it helps you remember what you had, because you forget and tell me, and you end up shortchanging yourself thousands of dollars.
Most of the time they shortchange.
Right.
So, Eric, I appreciate you taking the time to give us this interview, because I think it's very helpful to a lot of people that are unfamiliar with the way that insurance systems work. So thank you very much.
Thank you.